Namato Ratanatayassa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And my respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello everyone. Apologies for a few minutes late because I thought that the weather is so good, so that's why I came out and sit in a garden. So today is Monday the 18th May 2020. As usual, I'm here with you all to be part of your day. So I'm just sitting in a woodland, just the edge of the woodland, and so you can see the beautiful sky, and I will show you. This is how it looks like. So this is our center, and this is our garden, and this is a woodland. This particular woodland was planted by our interfaith group last year when we had the mindful day. So and this is me. Hello everyone. Hi Manish, hi Margaret, Melan, David, Prani, John. Hi Margaret. Manish, thank you very much for your generous donation towards the book, and also Ranjani and Satya for the generous donation to buy these few books and related to the Opapatika. And Margaret, thank you very much for your kind words. I received your card today as well, so thank you very much. And Prani, nice to see you today. Thank you everyone. So as part of the evening, I'm here again with you all. And also I was just going through the messages and comments. One of the comments, a few comments were talking about their practices during the meditation and how wonderful these talks are, so and so. And there is one particular question arised, was when we do the chantings, there are saying that there are four ways of a rebirth and three planes of a rebirth, planes where people or beings will reborn. So what does it mean? And in particularly the question was on the Opapatika. Opapatika means a being that simultaneously arises in another existence. So in order to give you this answer in relation to the Opapatika, we have to accept the law of karma that the Buddha explained, and I have discussed on the karma for a couple of nights in previous nights. So if you're following, then you would you would get basic idea what the karma is, and how we reborn in different realms. According to Buddhism, we reborn in different realms simply not just the karma, but also our action, our intention that has got the craving, and craving also is another factor that takes us to reborn in different realms. And in relation to the rebirths, there are four ways of getting born in different, like there will be an egg born in the eggs, like a chickens, and like a dinosaurs, so they will hatch from the egg. And there is a so-called spleen, and there is a called mother staying in a mother's womb, and the last one is simultaneously arising. And now the eggs we know, and it's common. There is another, the category is beings that take and stay with the mother's womb for a certain weeks or a month's period of time, and then will reborn. And in that category, all the animals and the humans falls into that category. With the help of a mother, beings will reborn. And there is another category, that's a splim, or beings that will reborn as like a worms. And this is quite difficult to comprehend, but again, this is one way of reborn as a splim. And the last one is the simultaneous arising, and the simultaneous arising is known as Opapatika. Okay, Opapatika, and that's simultaneously arising. That simply means once you died in a human being, as a human being, then immediately will reborn in another realms, another realms. As one who is already grown up. So one doesn't have to go through this childhood nature and gradually reborn, gradually grown up. So simultaneous arising is once you die from one realms, then you will be reborning in another realms immediately in the current form. And in this relation to that, there are a few stories that we can recall from the Buddhist scriptures. There is one particular story, was a monk who used to practice meditation, and he was so diligent practitioner, and he was practicing inside meditation. And one night, somehow, because of his lifespan ended, suddenly he passed away from a human being, and the story says he was reborn in a heaven instantly. And when he was reborn in the heavens, he thought that he was just woke up, so he didn't realize that he is in different world. So he was still meditating despite of in the realms of heavens. So he was meditating in that way, by thinking that he is still a monk. And other friends and celestial beings tried to convince him, but he couldn't comprehend, and he didn't listen to anyone, but he continued meditated. So mindfully, every step that he was taking and everything that he was doing very mindfully. And the story goes on saying that one of his close friend gave him the mirror to look at it. When he look at his face on a mirror, then realize that he is no longer a monk. He is already a celestial being. So that is a simultaneously arising. And that's why there is a commentary that says that the simultaneously arising is like you wake up tomorrow morning. So you sleep tonight, and tomorrow morning you just woke up in different realms. And a similar story, there is another story I can recall now, is Mata Kundali, and this story is based on a wealthy father had only one son, and this father was very stingy. So his son wanted to have the earrings, and he thought that if he take the gold to the smith and make the ring, then they will charge for the rings, so better he make himself. So he made the rings for his son by himself, and that's how the name came, Mata Kundali. So it's not the ring wasn't properly done, and it was used by this boy. And later on, this boy got sick. And when this boy got sick, his father again thought that if he took his son to the doctor, then the doctor will charge for seeing a son. So better he went to question what my son is getting illness. And after he explained the situation and conditions, the doctor prescribed medicine for him. And that's how he got worsened. The Mata Kundali got worse, and then later on relatives realized that this Mata Kundali is going to die soon, and people beginning to visit him. And having seen that people coming to visit his son, thought that when people coming in and going out from my house, in my house, they will see my properties and what I have got in my home. So better I put my son at the veranda, at front of the house. So that's how the Mata Kundali was lying in front of the house, in the veranda. So people will not go inside the house and see his properties. So, and it happened that one day Buddha was meditating in his meditative state. Whom should he go and liberate on that day, as he's routinely meditating and checking every day in the morning. So he saw Mata Kundali. He was about to die on that afternoon. But it is possible that he will acquire a good merits. So then Buddha went to see him, but he was so weak that he couldn't lift his hands and pay respect to the Buddha. And with that, he simply thought that I couldn't move my hands and I couldn't move myself to pay respect to you. I pay respect to you with my heart. Please accept my respect. So with that, he paid respect. The Mata Kundali paid respect to the Buddha from his heart after seeing the 6 ray, and that's how Buddhist flag developed, the 6 rays of the Buddha. Having seen the 6 rays of the Buddha, he paid respect, and because his mind was so rejoiced, having seen the Buddha, having had a chance to see the Buddha and paid respect, as he was rejoicing in that great opportunity, so he passed away, and immediately he was reborn in the heavens. So this is also known as the simultaneous arising. And there is another simile I can think of now, is that those who have attained the non-returner noblehood. So we have 4 noblehood and 8 types of noble beings. So the one who is practicing towards the Sotapanna, the stream enterer, and the one who has attained the Sotapanna, like that there are 8 noble beings, and in that there's one noble being, so it's known as the non-returner, the 3rd category. It is said that the 3rd category's monks or people or beings, when they died from these human realms, they will immediately reborn in one of the heavens, waiting for this enlightenment and liberation. So that's one more. Okay, and there is also I can think of at the moment is that whoever had done meditation until the jhanas and so-called samapati jhanas, and in the destruction of their body as a human being while they were meditating, they will be also reborning immediately, simultaneously in the heavens. So the so-called Brahma world. So that's why the Opapatikas are simply simultaneously reborning beings, and that's also based on their capability and their merits, and which is again quite difficult to ponder unless we have comprehend and soundly having faith on the concept of the karma, and which I have mentioned again and again about the concept of the karma, that is not easy to comprehend, although it's one of the very essential part of the Buddha's teachings, but it's not easy to comprehend. Even the Buddha mentioned in his time that it is not the beings, those who still have greed, hatred and delusion, to be able to comprehend completely the concept of the karma. So that's why it is not easy to explain how one could reborn in those planes of existence. And this is these examples that we can think of, and these are the ways that one will reborn. And this is again reborning based on what we have done now. Simply it's based on what our actions are, and that defines where we will be. And this simultaneous reborn again is also based on that, and then if the celestial beings, then that is again based on their intention and as well as their lifespan on their realms. There is a story of a lady, a celestial being, female celestial being. It says that she just went for a bath and she died in that celestial realm or heavenly realm and reborn as a human. And so she married, and as a human she married, and after she married she had a child, and later on she realized and her life is ending, and immediately after she left the human world, again she was reborn in that same realm. And her companion asked, "Where have you been? I haven't seen you such a long time." And that was about just 2 or 3 hours. So that is also a concept of different time schedule or different age in the human world and in a celestial world. So different years that one could live. So like in a human world we live about 30 to 40 years, then that would be only a couple of hours in some of these realms. There are even the Buddha once after the Buddha went up to the story says Buddha went up to the one of the heavens to teach his mother the teachings, and this going up into that one of the lower realms in the heavens, it was just for a couple of moments, hours or less than an hour, giving a talk in a heavenly world, in a heavenly world. That was about 3 months here in the human world. And so this is again the time schedule, time lapse in between the humans and the heavenly world. But anyhow, the Opapatikas are one of the ways that one will reborn in the other realms. And if we believe in, and if we have soundly understanding of the karma, then we can ponder on that there is a possibilities of becoming simultaneously arising in one of the realms. And again, this is also based on our capability and our development of the meditation, that again we can be reborn in a so-called Brahma world, Rupa and Arupa Brahma lokas. And that's again based on our pursuit of a practice and attainment of the jhanas. and you die during your meditative state of the jhanas, and then you will be reborn in those states. And again, this is not the eternity. Once you're born in those, even the Brahma worlds, according to Buddhism, once your age done there, then you have to reborn in other realms to fulfill or to accept your results that you have done in previous ones. And in relation to there was a question as well, where is the beginning? And in relation to the beginning, Buddha said that there is no beginning. It's so difficult to ponder and difficult to find the beginnings, but we can see the ending, and there is ending. So that's why Buddha said, rather than try to find the beginning, try to find how can we end. And there are plenty of stories and examples that the Buddha gave, that there are thousands of a world system and clusters of a world system, and which again you cannot ponder, and we cannot travel the end of this clusters of the universe. And I think now the scientists trying to find and explain this parallel world and a multiple world, multiple galaxies, and like that, and which Buddha already mentioned in his talks, in discourses, in many places, that there are thousands of world systems. And within these thousands of world system, again, there are many solar systems, and the human beings or other beings are still there. And with that, our birth, again, we have been reborn again and again, so many times that we cannot count, and we cannot find the beginning of it. There is one simile the Buddha gave was, suppose you collected all the grasses in the Jambu-Deepa, so that means the continent, the Indian plateau. You collected all the grasses and all these grass blades, and you count, and saying that this is my mother, this is my father, this is my brothers. These counting the grass blades will end, but the beginning of ourselves will be very difficult to find. So that's why Buddha said that rather than try to find the beginnings, we know that there is an end, so let's find the ending of it. It's like when in our life we do not we face with the problems out of somewhere, out of nowhere, and we do not know where the problem began. But if we mindfully working with that, and definitely we will be able to end that for sure. So I think I have covered the concept of this rebirth on different ways of reborn, and particularly emphasizing on the Opapatika that I was asked to explain a little bit more. And I think I shouldn't be going into this beginning and end of this samsara, which is a little difficult topic. But anyhow, I just wanted to give you, in relation to these birth and deaths. And I haven't explained at the beginning, as I mentioned, there are three worlds. So it's that three worlds that people or beings will reborn. And it is also categorized into 5 different existence or realms, and that's a hell, animal, ghost, human, and heavens, like that. So it's based on our karma, we will be reborn in different places in these 5 realms, in 3 worlds, in 4 ways. So 4 ways, and one of them I have explained is the Opapatika, and we, as one of the ones who we rely on father and mother, or particularly mother or the womb, to be reborn or to get birth in this realm. And Opapatikas are simply simultaneously arising in one of the heavens or one of the realms of Brahma worlds. Right, I think this is for tonight. And as I said again and again, just text me any question you want to ask or any opinions and feedbacks. Most welcome, and on those feedbacks and questions I can develop every night's talks, and I know that what I should be focusing on. Otherwise, again, it will be as it comes. We never know. Anyhow, we have been coming and listening to me for over a month now, almost 2 months. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope it helps you to understand and develop a little bit more knowledge about on Buddhist perspectives in different topics in different ways. So in a few minutes time we will have a chanting, and after half an hour chanting we will have a guided meditation. So I would like you to join in and tune in with us for those two, chanting and guided meditation. Until then, if you are not following, good night. But if you are following, then see you soon. May the Buddha bless you, and good night. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you.